My name is Emily, and I want to share a scary experience I had at the gas station. It was a regular evening, and I needed to fill up my car with gas before heading home. I pulled into a gas station that was located on a quiet stretch of road. Little did I know that this ordinary stop would turn into a spine-chilling encounter. As I parked my car near the gas pumps, I noticed that the gas station was eerily quiet. There were no other customers around, and the usual sounds of cars passing by were absent. Despite the uneasy feeling in my gut, I decided to proceed with filling up my tank. As I stood by the pump, the air felt heavy and thick, adding to my discomfort. I tried to ignore it and focused on the task at hand. However, my unease grew when I noticed a man lingering near the entrance of the gas station convenience store. He appeared disheveled and had a wild look in his eyes. I couldn't help but feel a sense of unease as I tried to avoid making eye contact. Once I finished filling my tank, I decided to go inside the store and grab a snack for the road. As I walked in, a wave of cold air hit me, sending a shiver down my spine. The store was dimly lit, and the aisles seemed deserted. The only sound was the faint hum of the refrigerators. I quickly selected a snack and made my way to the counter to pay. The cashier, a middle-aged man, looked worn out and tired. He didn't say a word or even make eye contact as he rang up my purchase. It was as if he was lost in his own thoughts, or perhaps preoccupied with something else entirely. Feeling increasingly unsettled, I hurriedly paid and turned to leave. Just as I reached the door, I noticed the man who had been standing outside earlier was now inside the store, staring directly at me. His intense gaze sent shivers down my spine, and I felt a surge of panic. I couldn't shake the feeling that something was terribly wrong. In a state of fear, I bolted out the store and quickly made my way to my car. As I fumbled to unlock the door, I glanced back and saw the man stepping out of the store, his eyes fixated on me, my heart pounding in my chest as I fumbled with my keys. Finally, I managed to unlock the car and immediately locked the doors behind me. As I sat in the safety of my vehicle, I watched in horror as the man approached my car. He banged his fist against the window, his face contorted with rage. I could hear him shouting, but the words were muffled and incomprehensible. Fear consumed me as I desperately searched for my phone, praying that I could call for help. With trembling hands, I dialed 911, relaying the situation to the operator as best I could. She assured me that help was on the way, and I clung to the words, finding solace in the knowledge that the authorities were en route. Every second felt like an eternity as I anxiously awaited for their arrival. Finally, the sound of sirens filled the air as a police car pulled in the gas station. The man saw the approaching vehicle and quickly fled, disappearing into the night. The police officers, kind and reassuring, checked on me to ensure that I was unharmed. They took my statement and promised to investigate the incident thoroughly. That night, as I drove home, a mix of relief and unease washed over me. The gas station encounter had shaken me to the core, leaving a lasting impact on my sense of safety. I couldn't help but wonder what might have happened if help hadn't come. My name is Alex, and I want to share a scary encounter I had at the gas station. It was a moonless night, and I found myself driving through a remote area with no signs of civilization. My gas tank was running dangerously low, and a feeling of unease began to settle over me. Just as I thought I wouldn't find a place to refuel, I spotted a small gas station up ahead. Little did I know that this stop would turn into a nightmarish experience. As I pulled into the gas station, a sense of unease washed over me. The place felt isolated, with no other cars in sight, and an eerie silence enveloping the air, despite the growling unease in my gut. I parked my car near the pump and stepped into the darkness. The flickering fluorescent lights heightened my sense of discomfort. A chill wind blew, rustling the leaves and making the atmosphere even more unsettling. Determined to refuel and be on my way, I grabbed the nozzle and started pumping gas, trying to ignore the nagging feeling in the back of my mind. As I stood there, the only sound was the soft whir of the gas pump, and then I heard a faint creaking noise coming from the nearby woods. It sent a shiver down my spine, and I glanced around, searching for the source of the sound. In the darkness, I caught a glimpse of movement. a shadowy figure lurking among the trees. Fear gripped me, and I quickened my pace, trying to finish pumping gas as quickly as possible. Every instinct in my body urged me to get back in the car and leave. Just as I replaced the nozzle and reached for my wallet, a low growl pierced the air. Startled, I turned around to find a dog standing a few feet away, its eyes fixated on me. Relief flooded through me as I realized it was just a stray dog seeking shelter. I cautiously approached, hoping to offer some kind of assistance. As I got closer, the dog's demeanor changed. Its growls grew louder and more menacing, its hackles raised. Something wasn't right. I took a step back, my heart pounding in my chest. I started making my way towards the gas station to pay. As I grew closer to the store, the dog followed me. As I was about to reach for the door, the dog lunged at me, but luckily I got inside in just the nick of time. The dog pawed at the door, snarling and barking ferociously at me. I was grateful for the barrier between us, but still shaken by the encounter. With trembling hands, I reached for my phone to call for help, only to find that there was no signal. Panic surged through me once again as I realized I was stranded in a desolate place with no means of communication. The isolation and vulnerability weighed heavy on me, and I couldn't shake off the feeling of being watched. I decided to ask for help in the gas station store. Looking towards the counter, I found no one behind there. The flickering fluorescent lights added to the eerie ambience. I called out, hoping to find somebody who can help, but there was no response. I made my way through the aisles, searching for any sign of life. The silence was oppressive, broken only by the sound of my own footsteps. That's when I noticed something unsettling, a trail of dark liquid leading towards the back of the store. Fear clenched my chest as I followed the trail, the smell of copper filling the air. With each step, the darkness seemed to grow thicker, and a sense of dread enveloped me. I hesitated, unsure if I should continue, but curiosity pushed me forward. As I reached the back room, I froze in terror. The scene before me was horrific. Broken shelves, overturned crates, and a pool of blood staining the floor. It was clear that something terrible had happened here. A sense of impending danger washed over me, and I turned to leave, but a shadowy figure emerged from the darkness. It was a man, his eyes empty and devoid of emotion. My heart pounded in my chest as I realized the danger I was in. In that moment, survival instincts kicked in. I turned and ran, the echo of my footsteps filling the air. I sprinted towards my car, desperate to escape this nightmare. I scanned the air to see if the dog was still out there, but luckily he disappeared. I fumbled for my keys, not daring to look back. Finally, I unlocked the car and jumped inside, my breath ragged and heart racing. I started the engine and peeled out of the gas station, leaving behind the horrors that lay within. As I drove away, the image of the man's empty eyes haunted me, a chilling reminder of the darkness that lurks even in the most mundane places. To this day, I still can't shake off the lingering fear from that gas station experience. It serves as a constant reminder that danger can be found in the most unexpected of places, and that sometimes it's the things we can't explain that are the most terrifying of all. My name is Stella, and I want to share a spooky encounter with my friends and I had at the gas station. We were on a road trip, driving through a desolate stretch of highway, when our stomachs started growling. We knew it was time to find a gas station and grab some snacks. Finally, we spotted a small, run-down gas station up ahead. Its flickering neon lights read 24-hour convenience store. Despite its worn-out appearance, we were relieved to see an open store in the middle of nowhere. As we parked the car, an unsettling feeling washed over us. The dimly lit parking lot was empty, except for a couple of flickering streetlights. The atmosphere seemed heavy, as if the air itself held a secret. Reluctantly, we stepped out of the car and approached the entrance. The automatic doors groaned open, revealing a dimly lit store with rows of shelves stocked with various snacks and drinks. The only person in sight was the cashier, who seemed lost in thought. We split up, each heading in different directions to grab our favorite snacks. As I wandered down one of the narrow aisles, the sound of my footsteps echoed through the store. I had the feeling that I was being watched, but I decided to brush it off, thinking I was just being too paranoid. Reaching the snack section, I began filling my arms with chips and candy. Just as I turned to head towards the cashier, a chill ran down my spine. I could swear I heard faint whispers coming from the nearby aisle. Curiosity got the better of me, and I cautiously approached the source of the sound. As I turned the corner, my heart skipped a beat. There, at the end of the aisle, stood a man dressed in tattered clothes, muttering to himself. I froze in place, unsure of what to do. The man seemed oblivious to my presence, lost in their own world. Their hushed words sent shivers down my spine, and an overwhelming feeling of unease washed over me. Summoning the courage, I slowly backed away, praying that they wouldn't notice me. With each step, the whispers grew fainter, until they were drowned out by the sounds of my heart pounding. Rejoining my friends at the checkout counter, I couldn't shake the eerie encounter from my mind. We exchanged nervous glances, our excitement for snacks replaced by a sense of dread. It was as if the gas station held a dark secret, and we were intruders in its web. As we paid for our snacks, the cashier's eyes met mine, and I saw a glimmer of concern. Before I could ask about the strange man, a sudden power outage enveloped the store in darkness. The emergency lights kicked in, casting an eerie glow. The cashier hurriedly ushered us towards the exit, his voice filled with urgency. "You need to leave now. It's not safe here," he warned us, his eyes darting around as if expecting something sinister to appear. Without question, we rushed towards the exit, stumbling over our own feet in the darkness. The store's atmosphere had shifted from eerie to downright terrifying. We fumbled for our car keys, adrenaline coursing through our veins. As we peeled out of the gas station, our hearts pounding, the man that I had encountered stood at the entrance, watching us with an unnerving smile. The gas station quickly disappeared in the rearview mirror, but its memories lingered. The experience served as a chilling reminder that not everything is as it seems, and sometimes the scariest encounters happen in the most ordinary of places.